Bing bang bong, bing bang ba bong, bing bang bong, bing ba bing bong.
Hello and welcome to Band of Bothers, an actual play Pathfinder podcast.
Hi, my name's Robin. I am playing the half-orc paladin called Eliso.
I'm Tuomas, I'm the only foreign guy here, and I'm playing Barlam, a human rogue.
Hello, my name is Edgar, or Ed for short. I play the animus Alpheus. He is a druid, specifically a wolf shaman, and he has a wolf called Snuffles.
Hello, my name is Josephine. I play a half-elf druid. My character's name is Frieda, and I have a animal companion named Teapot.
Yes, hello, I'm Pete. I play Snork the Goblin. And he's a little fire bugger thing.
Hello, I'm Dave. I play Echo, the Warforged Magus.
Hi, I'm Ali. I play Kanamura, a Slayer.
And I am Stephen, and I will be your GM for this evening. How may I take your order? Why don't you remind us what Alpheus looks like?
Alpheus, wearing lots of earth-coloured hide armour and rags, amongst other things, also wears various necklaces and bracelets of trinkets from his past life, a life he doesn't quite remember before he became an animus. An animus means he has a dog head now.
What breed of dog? Have you got a doge head?
Yeah, Inushiba, yeah, why not?
Such Alpheus. Much wow.
Oh gosh, I'm not going to be able to keep a straight face.
Alpheus is on a quest to discover who he was in a past life. You've had memories. A recurring trend is what appears to be a young human woman. You don't know who she is or what her significance is, but the fact that she appears in your flashbacks so frequently indicates that she's someone important. Very early on into your travels, after you left your home of Wolf Hill, the only leads you have, besides these faint memories, are a few small trinkets that you had on you when you first transformed. These are like actual material reminders you have of a past life, but none of them actually mean anything. One day, a traveller passed through. You met him in the local tavern and had a chat, and he recognised one of the trinkets you have either on your collar or your coat. This small badge that is a stylized symbol of an apple. Apparently, the traveller has seen people in the halfling nation of Finnegund wearing that. So, with that as your first ever lead, it might be a good idea to travel to Finnegund. The caravan finally stops at the small city called Proudmead.
Can I check one of the stalls?
Certainly. You do see they actually have plates and cups and stuff that have been either shaped to look like or have been painted with wolf imagery.
Absolutely marvellous. I will be happy to part with 3 copper for that wonderful wolf head.
Joe, you happen to just be walking around a corner as suddenly this white wolf comes rushing at your animal companion.
Oh, pants. I'm a young woman, brown hair, brown eyes, and I've got hide armour underneath my black cloak.
Her ears are a bit pointed. She is probably a half-elf.
Very nice to meet you.
Well,
My name is Frieda.
Frieda?
That badge you're wearing, you say you're not from here.
That's right, it's a trinket from a past time and a past life.
It's from a local drinking competition.
Any of you going to participate in the cider challenge?
Absolutely.
Your first drink comes.
Oh, no.
Kanpai!
It's time for your 10th drink. Will you go for it?
Absolutely. I could murder a kebab.
And a kebab could probably murder you right now. Down from the bookshelf, you see a small owl. Hello, my name is Charles. You're in the abode of Master Aten, the archdruid of the area.
So, as I understand it, you are Frieda's druid mentor.
That is correct.
This apple badge was recognized. Do you recognize any ounce of my appearance, anything of me at all? Have I visited here before?
I'm afraid we get all sorts of visitors. You've clearly won one of our cider contests. We might have records on who the winners were. Perhaps if I could find you the list of names, one might stand stand out. The papers are currently on loan to another druid. Master Kyrad still has them. If you wish to get them, you'll have to go and visit him. He's currently based in southern Aldwater. There's been some disturbances in the natural order as of late, and he seems to believe that whoever is responsible is a past winner of the festival. Down in southern Aldwater, there is a lake that used to be known as Mutton Lake. Something's happened as of late, and a lot of people have started calling it the Eldritch Lake. Frieda, you're looking to begin your journey and work to maintain the balance of nature and protect areas, and it seems like your services could definitely be used over in Aldwater.
I'm only at the start of my journey as a druid. I may have finished my training with my master, but if I was to travel, I think that you would be a good choice.
Your best bet would be to head to Bathmount, the capital of southern Aldwater.
There we should be able to do some investigating at it. Thank you for all my teaching. I'll be preparing to go then.
Yes, it is time for you to spread your proverbial wings and begin the next step of your training. So, the city of Firebrand is the home to Eliso. It is a big day for you as you have finally completed your basic training and are due to take the next step on your journey.
Eliso is tall and broad-shouldered. She's joined the Church of Grazith as a paladin, as a holy defender. She's got olive skin, dark hair, which she usually keeps tied back. She would have a trident
and the 4 mirror armor. Okay, as you walk through the stone corridors to the chaplain's office, you can see the various tapestries depicting the religious scenes of your faith. So, Eliso, this is a big day for you.
She nods her head, says training to go on this pilgrimage has been all I've really been thinking about, spreading the word of Grazith and helping as many people as I can.
Aye, and you've done a very good job of that. Top of the class, if I recall correctly.
Because I'm tall and I was above everybody else, or...?
Well, there's that, but you know how it is. There's always a few who are better than the rest. We've heard that there's been a bit of trouble over in the nation of Aldwater. We've decided that we would like to send you over there to do what you can.
I would be honoured to, sir.
And to symbolise the significance of this day, I am proud to give you this new holy symbol. He hands you a holy symbol made out of solid silver. It is in the shape of a battle axe, as that is Grazith's symbol, and whilst it's too small to actually be used as a battle axe, it is attached to a chain to wear as a pendant. The best way for you to head to Aldwater would be to travel south to Terra de Academia.
Alright, what you're supposed to do now is throw your hat or your helmet into the air and catch it like a university student, you know.
She takes her hat and throws it into the air. Alright, so...
Clunk!
It lands loudly on the desk and knocks over paperwork. Bloody hell, woman, why did you do that?
And this is Eliso's cue to leave, in that case, I assume.
Well done.
You finally arrive at Melititis, Terra de Academia. It is a vast city, far larger than anything in Rosagraz, spanning as far as the eye can see. You notice that one of the people who bumped into you has just removed the silver holy symbol from the chain, keeps it around your neck. As you look around, you see someone glance back at you, and realizing they've been seen, they start to run. He eventually reaches a door when suddenly you leap right on top of him, knocking him over through the door as you both crash into a abandoned shop building. It isn't entirely empty, however. Tuomas, why don't you explain what your character looks like?
He's kind of middle-aged, like almost like in the medieval times. He looked not old, but a bit frazzled, you know, a beard, you know, a mustache, a bit of bald spots around, and generally looking a bit wary. He's not by heart like a villain or a thief, but he's more like he does whatever he can to get by.
Your style's a bit more like a Victorian kind of clothing.
Kind of more like a Dickensian look.
Yeah.
The thing is, you've got the waistcoat.
Yeah, exactly. I got a waistcoat or vest. Just to clarify, I'm not selling anything, I'm not buying anything, and I'd rather make my way to a nice cup of tea. You're new here, right?
Just hopped off the wagon minutes ago. Yes.
Yes. You smelled a bit of hay.
That's just my fragrance.
Okay. You smell like hay. So, fancy a cup of tea? So, when they sit down to like a quiet corner with a cup of tea, which she pays for?
She'll pay for it.
He enjoys it more just for the sake of not having to spend money on it. I think there's a lot of other things which you can do to show the power of your church. So if I tell you that we'd already have something to do outside of cracking mobsters' son's ribs, would you be interested in?
I think I could be persuaded, yes.
You make your way down to the docks, and by now it is definitely evening.
Alright, you bunch of Grecs. You didn't forget about Walter O'Nally now, did ya?
The young kid who you tackled through a door,
Yeah.
it's the thugs from his dad. So begins a daring escape. You're seeing a ship leaving the docks. You run along the dock and shout out. You set sail, and the next day you both awake confused as to where you are or how you wound up on a ship. You are now on a ferry to the nation of Aldwater, which is a couple months' voyage to the east. Sitting between the coast and the canal is Bathmont, the great city of southern Aldwater. It is enormous.
We made it!
Bathmont is a very large city. There are tall, glistening towers, large estates. The city screams grandeur. It's almost as if the people here are very wealthy and wish to show off that fact. And you're met by one of the crewmen as the ship's coming into dock.
Do you carry, like, a sheet of plate glass with you?
Yeah, I've also got a stunt team with me at all times.
Okay, right. I look at that plate of glass very warily. Do you have tiny anime style, like...
Not like a warthog, just like...
Yeah.
Although I have just realised that we are essentially Timon and Pumbaa.
Oh no.
This is great.
Oh no.
Ed, you're going to have to leave this stuff in now.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
A bit of a tussle.
You branded us.
Hello!
Good day to you, sir, madam, and welcome to Bathmont, the city of gold. Your animal companions are going to need to wear a leash and possibly a muzzle.
Alpheus takes a little bit of offence to this. As we have a map, I suggest we go to somewhere where we can get some refreshments. As long as they do something strong, I'm happy with it. Stronger than tea.
There are dwarves in this city, so most establishments will dwarf up your coffee for you.
Dwarf up.
You head to a small tea shop down a side road that is called the Jaunty Mermaid.
I walk in with a look of mild curiosity. I pass by the interesting looking people by accident and nonchalantly try not to look at them because they look like adventurers and I want to get a cup of tea first of all.
Alpheus takes off one of his boots and lets Snuffles lick them for a bit. This is a favourite thing of Snuffles to do. Snuffles likes the taste of Alpheus's feet.
Alfie, it's rude to take your shoes off in a tea room.
Is it? I didn't.
And still, this guy has a doge face.
Yep.
Like that's...
This is the worst meeting in D&D history!
I think it's one of the best. I take my tea because I'm a brave man. Who are you guys?
Eliso takes a sit alongside them as well.
Hello, I'm Barlam.
Oh, my name's Frieda. This is my friend Alpheus.
Good day to you.
I do a double take as the dog face speaks. Hello.
I keep looking out the window. I'm trying to see if like any city watch are walking past because I'm really confused about why these animal companions are on leashes.
There are lots of guards keeping an eye on everything, so you're able to walk up to some of them and they look at you and it's like, how can we help?
Hello, yes. My name's Eliso. I'm a paladin of Grazith, and I've got some companions in there, and for some reason they're animal companions, even though they're incredibly well trained, are being forced to wear leashes, which I
You've
don't...
known them for 2 minutes.
What I can do for your friends is put through a special exemption request to have the animals be given a permit as to not require a leash. They wouldn't be able to have that at least until tomorrow.
Eliso's saying, send it to the Temple of Grazith.
Okay, we'll have it sent to the Temple of Grazith then.
Where I think we're friends now.
Alpheus leans over and licks Eliso on the cheek.
That's very forward.
Alpheus, that's not common courtesy.
Is it not?
No.
I thought it was.
Only a man and wife do that.
Now you are man and wife. Are we gonna go in a more lucrative set of shenanigans?
We came here to meet up with a druid that might know something about this lake.
Right.
This is good. That means that Barlam gets to get paid and I get to do the right thing, so we're both happy, right?
Getting paid is the right thing.
So I guess we leave the jaunty mermaid.
You then turn to see the temple that you were dropped off at, which is a small, run-down, derelict old building that looks like nobody has used it for years. Above the door is the symbol of a great axe over a shield, which identifies it as the temple, or maybe ruins, of Grazith. There is one person in this building. He has a big brown beard and appears to be balding on the top of his head already. He is topless and currently lifting weights whilst repeating scripture to himself.
I don't think it takes a genius to figure out that this person is leading the congregation of the church here.
Doth thou hoist, brethren?
This man's name is Dylan Hammerfell.
Oh, well, that's a good name.
That's super manly.
Dylan Hammerfall. What's the matter? Grazith pushing too many pencils?
We got a bit of a PR problem. You see, there's quite a bit of tension between Southern Alvewater and Northern Alvewater, and we have quite a good holding up in the north. But the Southerners associate us with the Northerners, and, well, they don't want anything to do with us. It's a bit of a problem. I haven't been able to get out to spread the good word and to try and drum up support, because those blasted bureaucrats keep coming in and trying to close us down. They want to take this land and they want to give it to one of the other faiths. They say there are more followers.
Would you like us to perform some sort of missionary service in that case?
Oh, God, no.
Where I try to spread the word of Grazith?
That would be phenomenal, yes! One of the dogs gets up. He's a majestic dog with long flowing golden fur that shimmers and shines with all the colours of the rainbow. He then turns and smiles to the rest of you, suddenly disappearing into thin air and appearing right in front of you. Greetings, friend, and welcome to the Druid's Grove. I am Glimmer, the caretaker of this grove and priest of Saint Fade.
We're looking for a druid named Kyrad. Have you seen him around?
Yes, the elf guy with long black hair and a badger, right?
Yes.
I believe he said he was setting off to the village of Arrowbrook. It's right by the lake. He thinks there's someone behind it. He was talking about maybe one of the mages from Elderspell. Did you go for the carriage? Because I let you have it with the money you had between you.
We did. It's all our money.
All right.
Everything we have.
In which case, we have the group leaving Bathmont. You've managed to pick up a horse and a sheltered cart at a decent price, so your journey should take you about 1 week. As you travel, you encounter a merchant caravan parked up by the side of the road. The driver is sitting under the tree enjoying his lunch.
Is this a mad hobo killing people?
He appears a little young for a merchant all by himself. He's got shoulder-length hair that's rather unkempt. Alpheus, you can smell that the lunch that he has appears to be some kind of sandwiches. It is a bacon, lettuce and tomato sandwich.
I'm not trusting random bacon, guys, no.
Barlam.
Sorry, the road's a bit loud, rumble. I can't hear you, sorry.
I just smile and wave as we go past.
There seems to be something in the way. It looks like a sheep.
Its body appears to be constantly shifting and changing. Given how woolly it is, it's hard to tell, but this thing does not appear natural and it appears very aggressive.
They see me in the most movement they've seen me on a whole trip.
As you plunge your short sword deep into this back until it collapses on the back of the horse and then drops to the floor.
And I do a perfect telemark landing, like a Winter Olympics style, long ski jump.
Alpheus is very thankful. He claps at this and holds up a scoreboard that says 9 out of 10.
And the Russian judge gives me 4.
Classic Russian judges. Lisa jumps off and she's going to inspect the blee thing. Like, what is this?
Alpheus is completely certain that this thing was once upon a time a normal sheep. Minus the tentacles. On your final day, as the lake is coming into view, everything around you is in a terrible state. It is now night by the time you reach the outskirts of Arrowbrook. There are no lights on, nor are there guards or people of any kind. You now see a dog that is sniffing around a house. When the dog turns to face you, its face looks like it has melted slightly, and its left eye is drooping down. It opens its mouth an unnaturally wide distance, as its teeth not only lie in the top and bottom of its mouth, but go all around the sides. More mutant animals are moving in.
Barlam will run through the town, whether the others choose to stay or not.
You're all running now across the town centre towards the building that is wrapped in thorns. You see the thorns that were barely covering the front door move aside as an elvish-looking male with long black hair tied back into a ponytail opens the doors.
We came here actually in search of Kyrad. Are you he?
Yes, it's Kyrad.
Ooh.
Kyrad will greet Frieda as he is familiar with her.
Lisa's down on one knee and is scratching the badger behind the ears and says, "Oh, you're cute. What's your name?"
Answering your question, he says that the badger is called Pappy.
That's a great name.
Thank you. I thought so. Mutton Lake seems to have been corrupted with some sort of taint. Everything that has fed from it, from the plants that draw nourishment from its waters to the animals that drink from it and the animals that consume the foliage, they all seem to be becoming mutated. It's why I'm here. I've been working on a ritual to contain the spread of the lake's corruption, but it's been taking quite some time as I have to draw the ritual around the entire lake itself. If you're offering to help, then if you head to Mutton Castle, you could retrieve my notes. I've got a lot of my gear kept there for safekeeping.
So it seems in order to help we need to go to this castle.
The castle is where all of my belongings that I didn't need for this ritual are. That is also where all of the inhabitants of Arrowbrook are currently residing. You head off and he waves you goodbye. Bye.
Someone with a golden owl is trying to help this situation and to keep a lookout.
I'll be sure to do that.
Minus 10 XP. You finally reach Mutton Castle.
Alpheus, look at this.
Oh, what is this here? Oh, those are the names that Atten said were here from Karat.
Well, does anything look familiar?
One name stands out to you. Rosalind Firebrand. It's a goblin name. You know she's dead. You're pretty convinced that you are this goblin.
I think you may have got the wrong end of the stick somewhere.
The castle is bustling with activity. There are guards, but their numbers are so few that they would certainly not be able to fend off even a small attack force, let alone a larger threat. It seems like a mess of a force with no one group willing to properly follow the orders of the others.
Eliso holds up one hand and says, I think I might like to stay here with these people. It's clear that the armed forces they have are understaffed and under-equipped. They really can do with all the people they can get, you know?
Alpheus walks up to Eliso and licks her on the cheek.
Thanks, Alpheus, that means a lot.
Like our first meeting.
Barlam walks by Eliso and doesn't lick her face.
Thank you, Barlam, that means a lot.
Just like their first meeting. Frieda! Oh my gosh!
Hello?
You turn around and see a female halfling scamper over to you. Oh, it is you! She gives you a big hug. Her name is Esmilia. You remember she was kind of an oddball. She goes over to pat you on the arm. Well, it's nice seeing you again, Frieda.
You too.
As she touches your arm, you suddenly feel you yourself get quite sleepy. You see the smiling face of Esmilia as she helps lower you down onto the ground. Good night.
Ahoy!
Climbing from the ship, you see two figures. One is clad head to toe in black armor. You see him holding his hand out to help another person who's somewhat overweight and wearing a very smart and presentable dress that is not really suitable for hard travel. And strangely enough, her hair, whilst is shoulder length, appears to be purple. I'm Cassandra Noctura. I'm a diplomat and envoy for the nation of Pavo Noctis, and this is my bodyguard. His order, take a vow of silence.
Then I shall call him Greg.
Why did you choose to become an animus?
I don't remember.
Well, you know, it's pretty well known that animus is made by consumption of the animus fruit. The fact that you've got a Sheba head means you probably ate the Sheba know me.
I did meet a lady, a small lady by the name of Koira. She was a wolf shaman herself, and I wanted to find out a little bit more, do something in my spare time. And then I regretted it. She was a bit of a harsh mistress. She wouldn't let me go. She insisted I finish what I started. But through that I gained the abilities to connect with wolves a bit better, so I left Wolf Hill without telling Koira. Honestly, she scares me.
You see this giant pitch black wolf comes vaulting over the wall and then bounds straight towards you.
Alpheus, what a pleasure it is to meet you again. She sent me to find you. Do you know how far I've travelled tracking your scent? Koira is very displeased.
I will return at some point to finish off what I started.
If you do not come back, then next time I won't be coming by myself.
Well, old Abra, I will give her a gift. I would appreciate it very much if you took it back. He pulls out from his backpack wolf-headed crockery.
I shall bring her your trinket.
He turns around and the wolf leaps over the wall. There's this one boy who's bothering his mother. Ma, come quick! What is it, Davy? I just saw some halfling lass. She punched out a lion and dragged some gal off to the basement.
Barlam sighs and Barlam just head up to where the child has allegedly seen this happen.
Inside, you see there is a human in a dark robe skulking around the wall at the far end.
Barlam will ask him quietly, "What are you doing here?"
The man just like, I'm just getting some supplies for the tap room.
No, you're not.
What are you doing
here?
No,
you're not. Tell me what you're doing, or you won't be doing it much longer.
You don't scare me.
I slit his throat immediately. Cultists of all sorts are so damn predictable.
So you hear someone investigating. The cultist swings his sickle around at you.
He'll try and tumble, to not get an attack of opportunity, to tumble towards the ladder which will take him back to the kitchen. Guards, we shall go into the cellars where there's the remains of a cult, an occult cult.
Ooh, a cult. Can I come?
Before you waste a potion.
Oh, Cassandra is a cleric, eh?
Yes. Frieda, you wake up to find yourself in some kind of dungeon. At the far side of the room is an altar covered with candles and a symbol hung over it. You see two figures in dark robes, their features covered by hoods, and Esme along with them. They are chanting in some horrible unknown tongue. You see the lifeless corpse starts to spasm uncontrollably as various deformities and growths start to erupt from it. You see Esme grinning maliciously. To further the evolution of nature, we must get a druid on our side. Frieda is chained to the altar.
So Snuffles bursts through the door up to the cultist guy.
Right.
The halfling slumps over limp. She's standing, but doesn't look conscious. Until...
Whatever she does, he'll sap him over again.
Oh, Frieda, what wonderful friends you have.
And I suffer again.
Go through all... Give me a second, I have a monologue here. Very well. Let's put an end to this. And now she's going to make attacks against Barlam.
I just laughed. She looks silly.
You feel a little bit drowsy for a moment. You kind of blink once, blink twice, and then you realise what she's trying to do and just laugh it off.
I continue laughing louder now.
And as she tries to get up, the pain of everyone's attacks drops her to the ground and she falls unconscious. The power now emanates from the little trinket she's got and it looks like she explodes, basically.
She explodes.
Are you able to get back on your trip on your own with your bodyguard? Pleasure to have met you. Do not take this as an unkindness, but we'd rather continue on our trip now.
Well, thank you again for your help. Glad I could help. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you again soon. I mean, I'm probably going to be in Morlia for a while over in the capital, so if you're ever in that neck of the woods, hit me up. There is a map of Aldwater, and you can see he's got a few places marked for places to go visit. Elderspell is the furthest away, but that is marked as a place of interest. Along the northern side of the lake, right along the edge of the lake, there is that wizard's tower that was mentioned. You can see close by is the city of Mutton Chop. Given that they're quite close to the lake but far enough away, maybe you can find some information from there. Those are like the three places he's kind of got marked right now as places of interest.
Let's go to the tower.
Tower or academy? Because if we go to the academy first, and they're gonna be asking like, oh, but first you must perform the ritual of Ashk Enti, then we can say that we actually know of a weird tower where we could go and get some things maybe for you. Kind of two birds stoned at once.
You're not going to the Mage Tower then, you're going straight to Elderspell.
Seems that way.
Alpheus is keeping watch. During your watch, you see a decrepit old woman. I have come to apologize on behalf of my apprentice. May we speak for a while?
Keep it down, I'm sleeping.
I have come with a peace offering of delicious pork products.
Sold!
I wake up from the amount of bullshit.
Be quiet. She pulls out a triple bacon sandwich, or a BBB sandwich, if you will.
Alpheus starts wolfing this thing down and just goes, okay, what do you want?
I'm known as Mother Saggith. I have come to apologize for Esmelia's behavior.
Just go, bye.
Oh yeah, it's the Day of the Dead. If you have dead loved ones, this is the day where you remember them.
As you continue along your journey, riding along the road, passing the lake, you start to hear music playing. You hear the song and it goes a little something like, we can dance if we want to. We can leave your friends behind.
Because if your friends don't dance, and if they don't dance, then we'll come and necromise.
Necromise.
You see now the source of the music is a gnome wearing bright reds, yellows, and greens. Barry the Bard.
Barry the Bard.
He's wearing an oversized jester hat and is playing a mandolin as behind him half a dozen undead in various states of decay are following him in dance, each of them wearing brightly coloured paper hats and dancing in unison.
Is this like the Pied Piper?
Alongside the gnome is a goblin who, Pete, how about you tell us what your character looks like?
Well, Snork, he's a very small goblin, he's only 2'7", teeth sharp as anything. I am wearing a wizard's hat, a loincloth, and a skull over my loincloth, and a tunic.
What colour's the tunic?
It's a light brown, pretty nice, works out well.
Alpheus immediately swivels on the spot and starts jigging like properly towards the group with his arms up in the air, just doing his own made dance, properly jiving towards them.
While this happens, I'm steering the horses off-road just to avoid this.
Oh, I guess I'm stuck here then.
Snork!
I have a great idea. We should continue this party back at the carriage.
Yes, let's go!
I agree.
I whistle my Burmese mountain dog chariot with black, tan and white fur, pulling a very small chariot for about a 3-foot person could stand in.
Does everyone have an animal?
Out of nowhere, my chicken appears.
As Barlam gets the cart safely back onto the actual road, you look over you and see now the goblin and the gnome in a chariot being pulled by a big black and brown fluffy dog, chasing you and catching up some distance. Alpheus is running way quicker than you've ever seen him run, as he's just running along, his tongue hanging out by the side like a dog with his head out the window.
Yep. So I'm gonna shoot the gnome. Should we trust a random goblin and gnome who controlled undead?
I extend my hand forward for a handshake with Barlam.
You shake his hand. You don't see him cast any spells, but as you shake his hand, you feel like you're starting to get tired, but you're immediately aware of it and shake it off. And Frieda, how are you reacting to this strange little goblin that seems to have now joined you?
I'm really unsure.
You continue your journey to the city of Elderspell, which you do eventually arrive upon. Elderspell is the centre of all magical learning in the nation of Uldwater. The city isn't nearly as vast as Bathmont, but it isn't small by any means.
Our point here was to gather intel on Kyrat studies, which we found.
Yes, we were to find something that would help clear up the Eldritch Lake and problems.
A name kept cropping up. Old Man Wilkerson.
Gerhorn Wilkinson, he's a half-elf who is head of evocation. He was kind of like your tutor.
Is he capable in magical lore?
Barlam, books!
Big place with books. The library?
Yes! Lots of mages there would help.
Snork! Haven't seen you in a while. What are you doing here?
I follow these guys now.
He failed his studies and now we are here.
No, I didn't fail.
An animus, that's good.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, are you related to Mr. Berkeley, head of conjuration? He's an animus, you know.
Oh, really?
So she will lead you down one of the hallways, and you see there are various doors with like nameplates attached to it, and she comes to one which has the nameplate of Nick Kick. Behind the desk you see a rat folk. What's going on? She just says, these people are looking for a scholar to help them out with something. He'll look down at the notes. You see his little nose twitch. He's going to cast a spell of comprehend languages and start reading through them. There seems to be talking about the lake. They're trying to spread its influence. There's a lot of talk about the truth and the nameless one. Would you mind leaving these notes here with me and coming back tomorrow? I'll see what I can find out for you. You all find yourself arriving at a tavern called the Apprentice's Arms. There seems to be a large tiefling fellow facing a young human female no older than 20 with long pink wavy hair wearing an elegant dress of purple and golds. He's about to hit you when the girl puts her hand on his shoulder and then smashes his head right into the table. This young pink-haired woman notices Barlam and rushes straight over to you. Uncle Barlam!
Hello, Serena, is it?
Do you seriously not recognize me? I'm Amy, the daughter of your brother Jerry.
Jerry? Who's Jerry?
Jerry's one of your brothers.
Well, we're actually here to stop the corruption that's happening in the land and find out something about a wizard's tower or something.
We've been doing the same thing then. I mean, I went to help out Kairad. I read through his notes at the castle. I went to the lake, and I've only just confirmed that there's this rift that's causing this problem. I believe that the rift is somewhere inside that mage tower by the lake. I'm guessing whoever owns the tower must have been responsible for opening it and probably fled once the alien monstrosity started pouring out and sealed the tower to keep them from escaping.
Oh, so the tower's sealed?
Yeah, that's why I came here, to try and find a way to unseal it.
Oh.
Ah.
She summons a giant golden owl. And
Wow.
honestly, if he opened a rift that he couldn't close, he should have called the Rift Wardens. That's literally our job. Frieda, you wake up to feel a strange presence in your room, and you are able to see from the thin sliver of light filtering through the curtains the creepy visage of Esmilia sitting cross-legged at the end of your bed with a huge grin on her face.
I scream.
Right as the door opens, you see her let go of Frieda and try to jump out the window.
I use all of my strength to run headlong after her. Ah! Fuck you, Esme. Stab time. That's 25. And a critical range because it's 19 and a rapier.
Nice. She's going to grab that hourglass that she had last time.
So just run forward and boot it as hard as possible.
Snork, you watch as this ancient artifact comes falling towards you and then bamfs. It disappears into a puff of magic into time and space.
I'm coup de grace her right away.
Okay. Your death will not be in vain, and I will finish what we both started. Saggith carefully opens up the top of the hourglass. Saggith's body grows younger and younger. We will begin the hunt for my next accomplice, and with that her eyes drift over to a tall and magnificent oak tree standing alone in a field not too far from the lake. The three of you head to the Ratman's office. In those notes written by that Kairad fellow, he talks about the tower north of the lake. It belongs to a wizard named Elros. He was a student at the academy before he got kicked out for some very dangerous experiments. He hasn't been seen in a few months now, and the timeline of his disappearance and the first signs of corruption coincide. So I brought this to the authorities last night, and they have granted you permission to break into his tower to investigate if you want to.
Okay, it's probably for the best.
Those cultists, they are not actually responsible for the corruption, but they see it as a sign. It seems that they want to get their hands on a druid in order to be able to spread the corruption further and faster. They will make the world habitable for a being they refer to as the Nameless One.
Alpheus takes out the list of names that they'd gotten from Mutton Castle and scans through the names again.
This time, your finger stops over a particular name. The name that you found is Smaz Noctora.
I remember we met a woman that surname. That must be a relative of yours.
Your family seems to be spellcasters. Oh, did you know?
No.
You do now.
You travel until you're at the base of the tower.
I'd find the paperwork with the thing to bring down the ward.
Barlam, you start reading this.
Reading what?
The scroll.
Right, is this a prank?
Trial by fire. Come on, read the scroll. He's trying to force you to learn magic. The spell is complete. The scroll just disintegrates in your hand, and the shimmering shield starts to crack until it shatters like glass. And Brelenor's just clapping. It's like, well done.
Mm-hmm.
You open the door to see a beautiful wax sculpture of a woman about 10 foot tall, standing there covered in dust. You must be friends of Elros from school. Get out.
Alpheus is like, no, and casts Flaming Sphere.
There was a few notes on the table.
The first set of notes says that the experiments were a success and that he has successfully isolated the mutagenic properties within the cosmic energy and refined it into a solution that would be safe for a person to drink. He concludes that he has reported his findings to his boss and is awaiting a response.
Okay, so there's someone else involved in this.
There is a second set of notes. It talks about the containment spells that have been placed upon the ring rift weakening, and the cosmic energies are spreading out beyond the tower, corrupting the lake. He's tried to reinforce the wards, but the rift has grown large enough for alien entities to come through, and he couldn't get close enough. Therefore, he chose to seal the basement to keep the monsters trapped, and has decided to meet up with the boss in person to ask for the help of their order. Hopefully, by bringing the sample of potions, will please the boss, and he'll be able to get the help he needs to deal with this rift. You get to the top where there is a hatch.
I'll open it and raise my cap and say, top of the tower to you.
You see at the top of the tower is a beautiful young woman with raven black hair, dressed in a simple yet form-fitting dress. Where are my manners? I'm Andrea Saggith. Of course, Alpheus probably remembers me as Mother Saggith.
I closed the hatch.
I was Esme's master.
And why have you come to us?
Deep under the Tree of Mana, there are some wells that allow people to see into the past, the present, and the future. And my sisters and I, we were looking into the future. We saw something world-destroying. I suppose you're familiar with the Ancient One, the one that Esme came to worship. It will eventually come here, and all who live here will die, except for a select few. We couldn't agree on how to deal with this ancient cosmic entity. I decided the best way to deal with this was not to stop the entity from coming, but to be on its side, to enable its arrival so that it will spare myself and those who aid me. Then, once he has been and gone, I can use Therona's chronometer, and she gestures to this hourglass that you saw Esme had, and she now has on her. I can then use this to bring everyone back from the point of which they should have died. That's why Esme was trying to recruit Frieda, and that is why I've been trying to recruit Alpheus, because for part of the plan we needed someone with nature magic. I have been defeated in every capacity, which is why I wish to speak with you today, to air everything out and let you know that from this point on I will be leaving you alone, and I will no longer be trying to bring about his arrival. Barlam will start descending down the ladder. You reach a room that opens up and is quite vast in size. It is circular and the walls are covered in spikes. In the center of the room there is a large tear in reality that has a demonic looking hellscape on the other side. The rift is surrounded by a ring of lava and a worm-like creature that has rows of caterpillar legs on its underside that's walking along one of the walls.
I'll take my bow, and I should have something which is close enough for me to sneak attack.
Alpheus has just come rushing to help.
I guess I'll go for the bow then.
So I use magic missile and I shoot something, I don't know.
2 missiles shoot past from Snork and strike into that flying creature. Amy will now spend this round on the ritual. Finally, as the spell reaches its completion, as Amy, Snork and Berkeley all finish their incantation, you see as the magic from the 3 arcane casters illuminates round the edge of the rift. It glows a bright white mixed with purples and golds as the rift starts to be pulled shut, as if someone or something has grabbed both parts and is pulling them back together. You see creatures trying to come out but unable to, as the bright light is holding them in place. And eventually, as it gets smaller and smaller, as things just get pulled further and back in, it is sealed and the battle is over. The day is won.
Woo! Huzzah!
That evening, Berkeley will give Barlam his test. You bloody ace it. Perfect marks.
So did I get an A+?
You get an A star with a little smiley face.
I'm a wizard now.
You're a what?
I'm a wizard, Harry. Sorry, Alpheus.
Alpheus, you have a dream. It's in first person, so you don't see what you look like, but you're in this building. There are a lot of well-dressed people, but not well-dressed like an aristocrat well-dressed, more well-dressed like mafia well-dressed.
Oh.
Wow.
There is a deep sense of dread coming over you as you're kind of being escorted through these corridors along with another person, a human, a young man, looks at this point to be in his late teens, kind of a bookish sort, and he is fidgeting very nervously as you get taken through a number of doors until you come to a big ornate set of doors, and a man standing outside says to you, "The Don will see you now." The doors open and you wake up.
Oh, part of some mafia.
I thought it would be like a Yakuza thing.
You all wake wake up. Amy sleeps in.
Hi, Kyrad.
Hello.
Good morning, Alpheus. I've got to say, well done.
Would it not be prudent to send word that there's one of the Norns or the witches who keep doing stuff like this?
Absolutely. I'm probably going to go up to Wolf Hill. Koira's the closest master in this area. Would you mind delivering the message to her so I can stay here and try to clean up the corruption?
Yeah.
You get back into Elderspell. You go to this big shop. The sign says Bobby Bugbear's Brilliant Books. You pick the spell book that looks like a broadsheet newspaper.
My actual robe should be like a tweed hat, tweed robes, but without the tie. Like a vest, brown jacket with the elbow spots, lecturer style. I want a bowler hat.
It has a little catch on the inside that you can press and it springs out and turns into a big floppy wizard hat.
Oh right, that's the best. I've got a nice pipe in my hand which I got as a heirloom.
Okay, we're going to bond this to you. All of your magic will flow easier once you've got an arcane bond. Okay, Joe, it occurs to you that you guys didn't kill Esme's snake, a viper. You don't know what happened to it, but it must be somewhere in town. You find that a crowd has gathered as Berkeley is standing there in front of them. Oh, there they are, the heroes who closed the rift.
Yay! Party!
And two people step forward. One is an attractive elven woman with shoulder-length brown hair, and with her is a small gnomish man with a weird contraption that none of you have ever seen before.
Oh, it's a camera.
Or a chimera.
Ace reporter Gabby Gates here for the Outwater Gazette. Can we ask you some questions regarding the recent incidents of Mutton Lake for our readers? So that we can properly credit you, can you tell us who are you people?
I'm the Batman.
I am Barlam. These are Alpheus, Frieda,
I'm not there.
and Snork.
Alpheus will say, my name isn't just Alpheus, it's Maz Noctora.
You get 3 questions.
I use Touch of Fatigue. 19!
You can ask me as many questions as you want, babe, if you'd care to meet me later.
Well, if you're offering to give a private interview, I would be happy to do so. The place you've arranged the interview for is a high-end bar called the Archmage's Tipple.
Tipple.
Here's the plot, Barlam. We pretend to be waiters and mess this up. For Snork.
I use disguise self on myself and use my disguise kits on Alpheus to turn him a bit like a gnoll.
Yeah.
He looks like a punk rock version of himself.
I'm such disguise, much in character. Wow.
Snork, you're in your private booth area, and Ace reporter Gabby Gates shows up. I hope you don't mind that my assistant Ty is here. We figure we might be able to get a nice picture for the papers.
Barlam then walks in. Service. I hope your date is going well.
My date?
Oh, this isn't a date. This is just an interview, sir.
Well, we're told this was going to be a stag party, and I'm not the stripper.
Therefore, I'll fetch the big cake for you.
This is an immense multi-tiered cake made of fruitcake, melty chocolate cakes, lemon drizzle, red velvet, that caterpillar cake that every supermarket sells, topped with pies and meringue.
Alpheus comes in with a platter of assorted cake that's just been piled up as high as he can, and then he's gonna slip, fall, and cake is gonna go everywhere.
And then, from the middle of the cake, tumbles Snuffles in a mankini. Alpheus casts Summon Nature's Ally and summons a dire rat into the room.
I close the door on Snork and the rat.
I look at it and I sneeze.
Did you actually cast fire sneeze and he agrees?
We're getting out of there.
You do know that you've burnt down like 3 taverns already in Elderspell. It looks like we're about to burn down your 4th.
So Alpheus has now ditched his cake-covered uniform outside and says to Barlam, no one can ever know we were here.
So Alpheus, you see the fire now.
By the blood of Saint Fade, I'll have to go in and help him.
Alpheus, you transform yourself into a pony. I'm going to be generous here and say you're a particularly buff pony. What are you going to do?
So Alpheus, as a pony, races into the Archmage's Tipple and bounds for Snork's door.
You manage to kick it open and buckle the lock. Snork has just escaped, but Gabby is trying desperately to get her gnome friend to safety.
She can ride me.
Tall elven woman riding you.
You pick up the gnome.
Got him by the scruff.
But you actually notice the gnome isn't breathing. The gnome is dead. You have all gotten out of the burning building.
Okay.
Gabby is in shock.
I'm not gonna lie, I feel really bad for what's just happened.
Are you gonna tell them about the rat and the grease and the cakes?
Yeah, and in shock I fire sneezed.
The guards come and place manacles on you and go, Snork, you are under arrest for this and a string of other fires across Elderspell. Snork, you are in a jail cell with manacles on. The manacles have a manner of runes around them that are suppressing your magic, and all your items have been taken from you. Hello, Snork. I'm Vice Captain Skullsplitter, or Splitter for short.
Can I go home now?
I'm afraid it's not that simple.
Oh.
This is the 4th establishment you've burnt down. What do you have to say for yourself regarding that?
Oh dear.
You have ruined many lives, Mr. Firebrand. It is the day of the ruling. Now, with the situation growing as tense as it is, they have called in pretty much everyone to try and help make this decision, and that includes the party.
Okay.
The gnome side is now filled with fans of Gabby Gates, whilst the goblin faction seems to have pulled in allies that have allegiance with the followers of Grazith and Rosalind. So that everyone is aware, the name Firebrand, that is St. Rosalind's surname, and the royal family of Rosagraz are direct descendants of Rosalind the Saint.
So basically, he's a crown prince who's doing shit with fire.
He's not a crown prince, he's kind of like 20th in line, the one that was shoved off to the other side of the world because they didn't want to deal with him. You get through the crowd. During this time, 2 figures are walking between the crowd. One is a tall and powerful looking half-orc paladin, wearing spiffy new armor decorated with the symbol of Grazith. You all recognize this woman as Eliso.
Yay!
Hey, Lisa.
Hello.
Hello.
Next to her is another woman that appears to float off the ground a little, as she is effing huge.
The princess? What is she doing here? She must be here to help her brother.
Her name is Hestia.
Hestia! Hestia! Hello!
This is the Archmage speaking now. The question really boils down to, do we believe Snork is capable of redemption?
I suggest that the princess and their retinue will take Snork back to Instagram to detain him, and then when he is deemed by the highest authorities you have sane, and after he's paid enough of his debts during which you can train him properly, I suggest you send him back to us only then.
I suppose it's time we should be leaving, Snork.
But guys, don't close any more rifts without me, hey?
I think we can't.
Oh, that's okay then. Bye-bye.
You'll see them again.
Yeah.
A familiar dog-like face will arrive as Berkeley returns. He was there at the trial, you remember, and strolls right on over, sits down, and he's like, well, that was fucked up, wasn't it? You were all preparing to leave for Bathmont when Princess Hestia of Rosagraz asked if you would be willing to participate in a charity sports ball game that she and Professor Berkeley are setting up. The proceeds will go towards Ty's resurrection and Gabby's cosmetic healing, as well as the repairs to the Archmage's tipple. You're in your team uniform, which Amy kindly made for you all. They are red with gold trim, and they have the Firebrand's Fabulous embroidered in it.
Hello, my name is Arendaria. I'm a pureblood elf. I have white blonde hair, typical ethereal angelic elf look.
The new character comes into the room, arms outstretched. It's a middle-aged man, scraggly hair, in a cloak. Bit of a beard going on. He walks on up to you and he's like, well, hey guys, how's it going?
There's also another person in the room. She is a pudgy little green goblin. Hi there, it's a pleasure to meet you all. I'm Sparkle. I'm Snork's sister.
My name is Mike. My crotch.
Sports Ball tends to change the pitch layout and rules each season. The goal is to get your ball into your opponent's goal, and you can use anything to do this. All weapons and spells are allowed, though killing is forbidden, and the goal is up on a 30-foot stone pillar. And so, you guys all head out onto the pitch, and you now see on the other side the mighty Mutts. They are all animus with dog heads.
Is that Barkley? I'm invisible. Can I dimension door so that I'm on the ball, like hopping on a grenade, and then roll away with my movements as much as I can?
Yeah.
The ball's gone.
I know, right?
Wow, no balls.
Berkeley grabs a potion from his pack, drinks it, and suddenly enlarges to become a large creature. What does my crotch do?
I'm gonna cast all of ice. No, I cast it on the goal and form a sort of cocoon.
So Alpheus will rush towards the giant Berkeley with his increased momentum of his cheetah spring already cast. Gonna jump as high as he can. He's gonna use hydraulic push in Berkeley's face to try and use the momentum of that to knock him into the other giant boy next to him.
Good Good one, Alpheus!
I'll use my wand of Dimension Door to teleport through the goal with my ball.
Just put it in.
Whoop!
Fireworks go off and the whistle blows. It's like boo, 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 boo.
Did we raise enough money?
Yes.
Yay!
The first signs of snow begin to come down, and then a fire breaks out because Barlam has just set another tavern on fire.
And the fire kills Esme's snake.
So what's next for you guys?
I came out here not to just do what Atten sent me to do, but just to learn about myself and practice my magic, and I found my place eventually.
I know who I am now, so I must track down Cassandra Noctura.
If you guys head to Bathmont, you'll probably get some reward money for fixing up the lakes. That's always a plus.
I thought Smaz Noctura was dead. Lucky me. Lucky Walter O'Nally.
Well, I'll tell you which way he went if you will leave Barlam alone. The great city Andras. You'll have to pass through Bathmont on the way there, though. And with that, Alpheus pulls his shining cloak around him and heads inside, ready to remember who he was for the next step of the journey.
So, wish you all the best of luck in Season 2. That, my friends, is where we're going to end it.